Hello guys and welcome to another video. This is your coach Arunav and today we're going to talk about frame control. But even before we talk about frame control, I want you to understand what is your frame. Now frame, it's basically your reality. It's basically your mindset. It's basically your self-identity. It's basically what you think about your own self, your beliefs, your mindsets and how you view the world, your perception of the world. It includes everything that builds you up as a person, whether it's your reality, whether it's your boundaries, whether it's your mindset.
Make them feel beautiful, actually listen to their problems, open the door for them.
Could you put on some clothes, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, is this bothering you?
Whether it's your belief pattern, all of these things combined together form your frame. Now, first thing you have to understand is why is it called a frame? Now, it's called a frame because it completely builds you as a person. It is your reality at the end of the day. Now, similarly, as a canvas painting, if you've seen a canvas painting before, you cannot just take it to the wall. It'll lose all of its existence, all of its beauty. Similarly, to build you up, you need your boundaries, you need a mindset, you need a positive self-identity, and that builds all of your frame. Now, in general, there are three types of frame. A neutral frame, and a neutral frame is not the best frame you would want to have when you're talking to a woman. A dominant frame, where you're taking the control of the interaction, leading the interaction in a way where you want it to go, or a submissive frame where you're just falling in the girl's frame. You're saying whatever she likes, you're trying to please her and you're seeking an approval from her. So let's focus on these three frames for now, alright? Girls love when a person takes control. Girls love when a person leads the conversation to an intimate direction. So they love a more dominant frame. And in an interaction, it's very important to have a dominant frame, a stronger frame than the girl, because if you have a weaker frame, and I'll talk about what a weaker frame means, but if you have a weaker frame, you will fall into the girl's frame and the girl will lose attraction. In any interaction, anyone who has a stronger frame will always fall into the other person's frame, whether the stronger frame is the girl's frame or your frame. Whoever has a weak frame will fall into the stronger person's frame. And that means that the other person can lead the interaction in the direction they want it to go. Now, frame is not really something that you might have when you're starting pickup. You might really not have a frame because you might be a person who has not thought about all of this, right? You might be a person who has a pretty weak frame. And personally speaking, guys, for me, when I started pickup, I had a very weak frame. I had no boundaries. I had a very bad mindset, which was very scared. I was very anxious all the time. That made up my frame. That built up my frame. I was really anxious. I was really nervous all the time. I was really thinking, playing all the negative scenarios in my mind, and that built up my frame. So that was a weak frame, and anyone who starts pickup initially will always have a weak frame. So it's really important, guys, and this is one thing I learned, is to set your boundaries, to set strong boundaries with your friends, to set clear positive boundaries with the girls you're dating, and to set boundaries with people in your life. And apart from that, to set some rules for your life, set some rules for your mindset, and de-analyze and assess your beliefs after every year. And this is one of the crucial parts, because after every year you realize when you're into pickup, you're going out in the field, you're meeting that beautiful girl, you're getting flaked, you might get some negative beliefs as well related to women in general. When you're seeing all the negative sides of dating, right, when you're going out constantly, you might feel those negative sides of dating as well. And those negative sides of dating might create negative beliefs. So it's very important, and that's one thing I learned, I think 6-7 years in my journey, was reanalyze and assess those beliefs every year so that I can cut down and I can trim out the negative beliefs and I can just stick to the positive ones. Now, most guys, when they're learning about framing, they think, hey, frame just means that just go out to the girl and be an asshole, alright? Be an asshole to the girl. Just talk to her with disrespect, and that's not how it is, guys. That's a newbie mindset, that if you're an asshole to the girls, you'll get girls, but that's not how it goes. Or maybe on the other side, someone might think, hey, I should be a complete people's pleaser. I should just go and I should just make sure that this girl likes me, right? This girl should like me. And that neediness, guys, that neediness constitutes your frame. So you need to find the right balance, guys. Now, the right balance is actually a V frame. It's a more collaborative frame where you're thinking that, okay, it should be a win-win situation for both of you. Instead, rather than, thinking that the girl is the prize, where you give too much value to the girl, or thinking that it should be a win-lose frame, where it's you versus the girl. Now, you have to understand a collaborative frame is not only better when you're in the field approaching that beautiful girl, but in terms of building a relationship, maintaining that relationship, and having a long-term relationship with the girl, that collaborative frame really comes into play. So now, I hope it's very clear for you. What is the frame? How is it helpful for you? And why do you need it? So let's talk about how to build your frame. Now, these are small things that can help you build your frame, and these things help me build my frame. And the first step is write down 10 things that you can offer to a girl. And these things should be completely non-monetary, because to understand, right, to have a V frame, to create that V frame, you really need to understand your own value first. You need to know how the girl's life would change if she's with you. And I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking that you want to, take her on nice dates, you're going to take her to different locations, not all of that. Just try to stick to things that are completely non-materialistic, because at the end of the day, you are going to attract the girl based on your your personality, not on the things that you can offer her. Then to start with, write down 5 boundaries when it comes to friendships, when it comes to close friends, what kind of people you want in your life, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And to write boundaries, think about the most negative scenarios with friends that you've had, and that's what personally I did. For example, my first girlfriend in my life probably fucked a couple of my friends, right? So that was a boundary that if a girl is out with me, or if a girl is dating me and she hooks up in front of me. Now guys, again, this is for me because I am dating multiple girls at the moment. If I'm in a monogamous relationship, I would not accept it, but right now I'm dating multiple girls, so this is for me. If a girl is outside with me and she hooks up with someone, if she's with me on a date or something, that's not acceptable for me. That's my clear boundary, and I'll cut that girl then and there. So that is my boundary, alright? And that boundary came from my first experience of a relationship, because I don't want to accept that shit anymore in my life. Now similarly, think about situations that went bad with your friends. Why did it happen? If you had clearer boundaries, would it actually happen? Now, one thing I also learned is boundaries actually give you a spine, alright? Then people are afraid to step on your boundaries, and people respect your time even more. For example, I have a boundary. If a girl flakes on me twice, I'm not going to meet her again, alright? I'm not going to meet. And this boundary actually really helps me in attraction. And what I mean is, if I'm talking to a girl, I talk in a way where she knows that, okay, I cannot fuck up with this guy. If I fuck up with him twice, he's not going to meet me. So I text her, if she flakes on me the first time, hey, this is the first time, so I'm going to give you the benefit of doubt, but I generally don't do this again. If this happens again, I think I wouldn't be into this conversation. And I just text that, and girl would be like, hey, listen, I'm so sorry to flake on you. I really apologize. I would love to see you, and just this last moment thing came up or whatever. She'll tell me the excuse and we'll move forward from there. But if you don't have a frame, which means if you don't have a clear boundary, what will happen is the girl will text you, hey, listen, I'm so sorry I flaked on you, but let's meet up next Wednesday. Now next Wednesday comes, she can flake on you again because you've not set that clear boundary that this shit is not acceptable for you. So I have a rule. If I call a girl out with me, I should respect her time. If I expect her to respect my time, and I should not hook up in front of her, because guys, at the end of the day, you will receive what you give, alright? You will receive what you give. So I have this collaborative frame with the girl that if I'm out with her, I would just give my time to her, my sole attention to her, or else if I'm out gaming, I would be gaming all out. But if I'm on an online date and the date is not really good, I'll probably try to end it early so that I can game some more. So this is one of my boundaries, that if I'm inviting a girl out on a date, I should spend my time with her. And this sort of makes me a gentleman as well. Funny enough, last Saturday I was out with a girl, and that's what she said. And one thing you have to understand is this will create massive attraction. When the girl knows that, okay, this is a guy who can go up and talk to any girl, but he has a fucking rule that he's invited me outside and he's gonna spend all his time with me. Even if girls are approaching him, he's just talking, hey, nice to meet you and bye-bye, because he wants to spend this time with me. She feels very valued, she feels special. And of course, if I'm inviting her, she might be, right? She might be, and I would want the same from her side. So all of these boundaries, all of these rules of my game, all of the mindsets that I have actually makes my game more stronger. And by stronger, I mean it makes attraction more easier for me, because girls get instantly attracted, instantly hooked, because not a lot of guys have these foundations working for them. This is your coach Arunav, and I hope to see you in the field.